chance at the end, but I got 3 words for you. You like that?
Yeah, that's what it could have sounded like. That's what it could have sounded like if Dalvin Cook hadn't fumbled that game away. Vikings could have had a raucous post-game celebration in the locker room in Cincinnati. Everyone could have celebrated together. Some people say the officials maybe are to blame. We'll give you our pie chart of blame and praise on Purple Daily later today. But boys, we are graced with the presence of one of our favorite callers and Vikings fans. He is Randy Vikes 69 on Twitter. Randy in Cottage Grove. What's going on, Randy? How are you doing after a tough Week 1 loss yesterday?
I'm salty. They had a lot of bones to pick at the bar. First of all, before the result was even in the books, even before the game, you could tell there were a lot of folks who kind of treated that like the 5th preseason game. Both on the bar stools next to me in the tavern and on the field evidently, because did they do the work? They didn't do the work. I did the work. I put in the work this offseason, and I was ready. I did. You don't just show up to game 1 with having not done shots since the last season. You work your way up. You get ready.
That was your preparation. Just ramping up the tolerance throughout training camp.
You can't go down. You can't. You don't want to. You don't want to go down early in the fight. And then that's what they did real early. Both the kind of a lot of parallels between the some of the guys in the bar and some of the guys in the field. And I cussed them all out yesterday. I said, how much do you want it? Don't say how much they want. How much do you want it? I tried to get a school chant going. Never got it off the ground.
Oh boy.
The Jagerators.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, and this specific bar has one of the double Jagerators, and normally, a typical game, we at least cash one of the bottles, if not both, and we didn't cash one. We didn't even cash one. So I'll take the you can hang that L on I'll get them going next week. Don't you worry about that. But on the field, just a turd. I mean, just a total steamer right in the middle of the field. Zim took a big steamer.
Did. I mean, honestly, looks like Zimmer has definitely not missed a meal this offseason, so I think he was ready for his steamer.
Wow.
Well, now he's going to eat a little something that tastes bitter. It's called a big L, big loss, and we did get jobbed. I mean, that should have been an ugly win. Delvin, his ass was on the turf. I see it every which way. That was a screw job, but beyond that, just there's not a lot of fire on that sideline. And Zim, don't be afraid to cuss a guy out. Cuss a couple of guys out. And let loose. This is it now. He's playing for his maybe last chance to be a coach, and that's the turd effort they come out with. So I'm upset. I'm upset with myself. Took a long look in the mirror last night, and then again this morning, and we need to be better, both doing the work on our end, but so do they.
Yeah, it's hard.
Why are you upset with yourself?
We didn't get rowdy. The bar didn't. There was
they only drank like part of the Jagerator or whatever, Judd.
If you don't think,
try to keep up here, Judd.
I think your teammates are the ones who let you down, Randy, not you.
You get to us. You rise to the level of the people around you. I can only rise so far. If you don't want to be the biggest, wearing the biggest hat at the party, as they say. You want everyone to kind of be having a good rowdy time, and a couple of the guys even left at halftime, and that to me is a no. And we're gonna have a talk about that. We're gonna have a talk about that. And when I host the Thanksgiving games, they're not invited, and not until they prove that they can hold their own.
Yeah, it's tough to disagree. Listen, Randy, I'm sure there's just a plethora of options for your dud stable, assuming that you did bring a dud stable to the show today.
That's what happens. When they win, it's a stud stable, and when they lose, there are no studs. It's one stud for all. So yeah,
Want your music?
fire it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad he clarified.
Yeah.
This is the week 1 Randy and Cottage Grove dud stable on Mackey and Judd.
It's dud stable that should have been a stud stable, but it's a screw job. So the first dud here is the Zebras. Dalvin Cook's ass firmly on the ground, ball still in his possession. You got to call that. You got to call that down, and then you can review it. That was a dud call by a big bunch of duds. But now the rest
Fair
of
enough.
now that the rest of them who deserve the dud, they're gonna get it. We're gonna start right at the top. Ziggy Wilf. Ziggy,
Wow.
you want to go ahead and build a stadium like that, just a cathedral, and you want to fill it with fans doing skull chants, and then you want to put this kind of money into a guy who's making the almost the top cap hit quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he's the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL cap hit. That's correct.
And he poops his pants in prime time.
A lot of pooping going on.
He poops Metamucil. He poops his pants in prime time. He a lot of people say, well, it wasn't just him. You got to elevate your play, bro. You got to lift the team up. You got to snag a victory out of the rear end of defeat. Okay? So Kirk Cousins, you're with a capital D, you are a dud.
You like that? You like that?
I like that. So he snag a victory out of
KJ
the.
Osborne.
Okay.
Some of those routes you ran weren't super crisp.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
A lot of people want to say, oh, it looks like they got a bona fide number 3. I saw a couple of times you could have cut left and broken a couple of those. And in a game like that, you got to have those, KJ. So you go back in the room and you look at that film, and you want to be a number 3. Maybe you even have the intention to be a number 2, number 1 receiver one day. Not here, because we got 2 top 5s in the league. But KJ, don't go patting yourself on the back for that week 1. You need to be better. Cut some of those back and get to the house. You're a dud.
KJ
Randy,
Osborne
no.
had 7 catches for 76 yards in that game.
What did
Move over to
KJ
the
do?
defense.
Oh, okay.
Out of all the
Somebody-
duds, I don't think KJ Osborne. Okay, whatever.
Excuse me, Jeff.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Go ahead.
That over on the defense, there was all kinds of holes, all kinds of room for a rookie. You let a rookie receiver tear you apart. And I'm going to look right at you. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Harrison Smith.
What?
This is a guy who just got an extension, and he has the cojones to go out there and let his defense get torn apart like that by a second-year bum knee quarterback and a rookie wide receiver. Harrison, that backfield is those are your troops. You're the general. You got to get those guys rolling. You got to get those guys sticking people. Harrison Smith, you're a dud.
Wow. Going after one of the greatest players in
Anthony
Vikings
Barr.
history. Okay. All right.
I didn't see you anywhere. You weren't even. You didn't. As far as I can tell, you weren't even in the game.
Yeah,
Anthony
Randy, that's
Barr, you're a
right.
dud.
No, he definitely was
No,
not
he,
in the game.
He wasn't in the game, Randy. He didn't play.
Well, he's still a dud.
Yeah. Nick
Okay.
Vigil had a couple nice plays though. Nick Vigil flashed a couple times in that game yesterday.
He is a stud, but not this week. And finally, the biggest dud of all yesterday, and this is a guy who knows he's coaching for his career. He's coaching for his last chance to be a head coach in the NFL. A couple of years ago, we had a senior gold regional, was a sub-regional, but it felt like a regional. And I knew that if we lost, they might not bring me back the next year. We put up, there's a two home run limit in this league, by the way, it's BS, but we put up 7 runs, only using 1 home run. And at the end of that game, they looked at me and said, you fired us up, Randy. This was a big game, Randy. We needed you to cuss us out after the 3rd inning, and you did, and it lit a fire under our ass. Zim, you better get some matches, and you better get some lighter fluid, because this season is going to go down quick if you don't light a fire under a lot of asses, starting with old number 8, the bozo youth pastor-looking guy, and everyone else. You're a dud.
So, okay. I just
no.
want to empathize. Oh, is he gone?
He's gone.
He just hung up?
Yeah.
That's what he always does.
I had a question about the sub-regional softball tournament, but
Me too.
apparently he's gone, man. The sub-regional.
But
You said it was a sub-regional that felt like a regional?
Like a regional, so don't make that
Okay.
mistake. It felt
All right.
like a bigger game than it actually was. And
Hey,
Randy
listen,
fired him up.
I wanted to empathize because that 2 home run limit can be tough. If your swing is grooved,
Just my swing, bro.
it's just my swing. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I hit bombs every
Right.
time. It's my
Yeah,
swing.
that's what I do.
Right.
You know, it
So
can be tough.
So KJ Osborne, Harrison Smith didn't seem to me like the biggest problems for the Dud stable, but what the hell?
I mean, oh, man. Harrison Smith. I think we lost Declan there. Yeah, we did. All right. Let's pause for a second, and we'll come back with more. Oh, are you back? Okay.
Yes.
This has been a tough day.
What's happening on the show technically today? I'm 0 for 2.
Yeah, we're sabotaging ourselves. This is not.
I'm the only one that's been
also like
perfect
my
so
picture
far,
looks
and it's
far
only a matter
away.
of time before it goes out.
I don't know what's going on.
Should we keep rolling here?
We'll keep
we good?
going.
We keep
Yeah,
going.
I think you look.
You know
look
what?
Fine.
You know, those are the duds. You know, if we want to go to a stud stable, PXG is the stud stable of golf clubs, golf apparel, and PXG Minneapolis is your place if you are a fall golfer, all right? You still squeeze a couple more months of golf season out in the Twin Cities. It's a golfer's paradise. PXG Minneapolis and Southdale Center. Just check it out. You walk in, I think your eyes will get very googly. They've got some of the best new clubs. These Gen 4 clubs are incredible. Again, PXG Minneapolis and Southdale Center, and find out more at pxg.com/Minneapolis. I feel like there's more meat on the bone, so to speak, for Monday statements. Do you guys have? Cause I got a couple non-Vikings ones for sure.
Sure.
If you guys have any leftover Viking stuff, you feel free kick us off.
Yeah, I've got
some bonus statements here.
I've got one that applies to the game itself, and actually, it's part of what our friend Randy from Cottage Grove was talking about.
You're going to rip.
While
Harrison
I do
Smith
not,
here?
while I do, yeah, Anthony Barr was terrible yesterday. I mean,
he was.
he no-showed the entire game. I never saw him on the field once.
Never heard his number called. What's going on?
Come on, Anthony Barr. So this is, just to be clear, I am not laying blame on a defeat in which the Vikings played a very poor game on this, but it is an important thing because I feel like it's going to come up in games, not just Vikings games, again and again and again. And here's my statement. Replay in the National Football League needs to stop being based on what is called on the field and start being based on what they should call a clean slate replay. And by that, I mean, we always default to if we can't tell definitively, and definitively is like very subjective. But I feel like it's become a lazy fallback to be like, well, Dalvin Cook, I mean, the ball might have been coming out. I don't know. We cannot overturn that call. Nonsense. I would almost prefer that the people who help with the review in New York don't even know what the call is, if that's possible, so that they can look at it with a clean slate.
Yeah, they should
and
know.
Then judge.
100%. Totally agree. They should know. Why do they need to know what the call was? All right. Hey,
I don't know, but I mean,
here's a play. Here's a play, guys. Check it out. We made a call, but we made it with guys moving 150 miles an hour, and we're humans, and so we'd like you.
And they're in scrums. Cook's in a scrum. You can't see the replay gave you a much more definitive look, I guarantee you, than any official got with his eyeballs.
Yep. Why is it relevant what the call was on the field if you've got guys who can watch a slow motion multi-angle replay of a play and then make their own determination? If you just watch the video of that play, and now you can make. And it's tough. Like, it's super bang bang. And, like, I could even see that going either way. I don't know, not really. His butt was pretty clearly down. But make that determination based off of the slow motion, frame by frame, multi-angle replay and make the call based on what you think you saw. Like, well, I don't know. They called it this on the field. Yeah, but that was an egregiously bad call potentially. The Justin Jefferson one, too. Ultimately, there's a lot of reasons why the Vikings lost that game, but they did get hosed on two big calls. One, the touchdown that wound up not mattering, but they did burn a timeout, so maybe it did matter. They burned a timeout for the challenge, lost it, right? So they could have had 2 timeouts instead of 1. Who knows? Maybe you can score a touchdown. But yeah, totally with you on that one. All right, Declan, fire away.
Yeah, my next statement is we're all going to be terrible. And I'm referencing the NFC North, since every single team yesterday in the NFC North lost. Now the Vikings are technically in first place in the NFC North, since they have the best point differential at -3 after the Packers got walloped by Jameis Winston. The Lions actually put on a furious comeback that just fell short. Shout out to Man Campbell. And then the Bears getting absolutely walloped in Matt Stafford's debut on Sunday Night Football. We are all going to be terrible in the NFC North. And for the Packers, I'm kind of trying to figure out what the hell happened. Either are the Saints really going to be this damn good with Jameis Winston? Are the Packers a little bit more fraudulent than we thought they were? Aaron Rodgers might seem to think, though, maybe they're missing just a few of their older guys.
Yeah, when a team's going to play that much two-show, you got to be able to run the ball. And, we didn't run it that effectively. I think we came in thinking they're going to pressure us a bunch like they did last time. But last time, we had Allen, MVS, and Swerve. And this time, we had some different skill guys, obviously Devontae being back. So they really didn't pressure us a whole lot.
Yeah, sorry, Aaron. I'm sorry I didn't have all your guys back there. I can't tell if he just wants to sabotage this team or if the Packers are just going to be a little bit more fraudulent than they were in 2020.
The division got outscored 140-74 yesterday.
Woof.
140. They gave up 140 points between those 4 teams.
And it could have been worse because the Lions were down by like 3 or 4 touchdowns and then actually came back. They were driving with a chance to tie toward the end of that game.
They were down by 28 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And damn near came back.
Yeah.
With Jared Goff. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Rodgers, boy, that's an interesting thing. It really felt like a guy that didn't have anything to do with all offseason, right? Kind of felt like took a mental and physical break for about 7 months there and showed up 4 weeks before the season, and like that's what it looked like. Jameis Winston, 5 touchdown passes.
Sean Payton, man. Sean Payton is he's a jerk, but he's an offensive genius.
Yeah. All right, my next bonus statement here. I'd rather have silence than a bad color commentator on a football game. And there's a few different ways I could go with this, but I'm talking about the ESPNU telecast of Gophers and Miami of Ohio, which you guys didn't
We were there
at the game. Hosting a suite full of Mackie and Judd and Purple
awesome.
Daily listeners.
Ton of fun.
Yep.
Awesome time. So I don't remember the guy's name. It doesn't matter. I don't need to single him out. But they were doing the game from their homes, which I find funny.
We're still doing that?
They're spending a bunch of money on the production and the cameras. They're hiring a production crew to go out there and shoot the game. It's what's the difference if there's 2 other guys also out there doing the play-by-play? Are they trying to save money on flights? I don't really know. Yep. But I have my 6 favorite phrases that cliche color commentator guy used at different points in this game. I'm just going to get... These are just sort of in any order. He talked multiple times about statement drives.
Football.
I love it. Okay, that's a good one.
This is a statement drive for the Golden Gopher. That was a statement drive for Miami of Ohio.
Football.
Right?
Yep.
He also talked quite frequently about the Gophers and Miami of Ohio needing to take the top off the defense.
Oh, yes, you've got to. What's more important? Top has to come off the defense. There's no question.
You got to take the top off the defense.
Oh, my gosh.
He also referred to the Gophers' 4th touchdown, that drive was just defined by the Gophers' physicality.
Football.
Did they win the war of the trenches?
Physicality in the trenches.
Football.
Yeah.
I love the trenches.
Right. Also, the tough part is when the Gophers had the lead, Miami of Ohio's offense playing from behind, right? It's tougher because the Gophers' defense can pin their ears back.
Football.
Hold on a second. This sounds like the best telecast I've ever heard of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have to go back and watch it now.
Yeah.
It's like this dude literally sat and watched 100 NFL broadcasts and college broadcasts and wrote down every possible cliche phrase. 2 more here, all right? When the Gophers scored, I think it was their 3rd touchdown. Or no, I'm sorry. It was late in the game when the Gophers were trying to put the game away. And everyone knows they're going to run the ball, right? This is I'm quoting, smash mouth, punch you in the face football right here.
Did he say it's fitting that we are in Minnesota, home of the NFC North, the black and blue division?
No, but he did say this is Big Ten type football. Punch you in the...
You think he showed up with just a list of the cliches?
And this last one is not really a cliche, but he did say this verbatim. This one might be like if there was some show that had like a bracket for statements that were outlandish. Like we should do something like that.
We should.
It's a novel
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
Quote, there's not a team in the nation that's going to be able to replace a Mo Ibrahim.
Football.
Now, mind you, all due respect to Mo Ibrahim, the guy who replaced him literally ran for like 150 yards in the very next game. And I'm going to say Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, that there's LSU. There's probably a team out there that could just have a next man up 4 or 5-star recruit and replace Mo Ibrahim. So to say there's not a team in the nation that's going to be able to replace him, the team that had to replace him literally did just fine.
Yeah, by playing black and blue football, baby. They're getting the blocks up front. They're winning the war in the trenches. What's he talking about? Next man up. You know what that is? Next man up football. You got a next man up. He's coming at you.
Yeah, just pin your ears back. So
I have a go for football statement. Judd, do you have a go for football statement?
I do, but go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say. All right. Because after that, watching that debacle that unfolded on Saturday, and I know the Gophers won, so hey, the Gophers won, that's great. But my statement is, let Tanner sling. Let Tanner Morgan sling the football. The Gophers had zero goose egg, none, zero passing yards in the second half of that game against Miami, Ohio. Not a single passing yard in the second half against Miami, Ohio. Tanner in the first half, 112, couple touchdowns, nice little RPO. They established the run, and then the second half, he had 0 completions, 0 passing yards, and they continued to run the ball. I know this offensive line has got some road graders on it. That's great. But Tanner Morgan 2 years ago was like a second-tier Heisman guy and was a pretty damn good quarterback. I don't think he's going to light up the world and be a first- or second-round pick, but the dude does have capabilities to sling the football. So go for offense. Let Tanner sling and row this bleeping boat back to relevancy.
They got freaked out because there was like a drop pass or two to start the half. There was a couple incompletions, and they basically were like, we are just going to run the football the rest of the day. And it was weird. The only thing I can think of is Chris Ottman-Belt's still not playing. So he got hurt in like a scrimmage practice about a month ago or so. He didn't play in the first 2 games. He was the guy who behind Bateman was pretty damn good. So when he gets back, I'm guessing that they might open up the passing game some. But you know what? Fleck and Zim, I think both see offense sort of eye to eye as far as we can pound the rock and eat clock. And I mean, they've got they're far more similar in their philosophies of football than they are in their philosophies of life.
That's true.
And Phil just froze. He was so impressed by what I said.
I wasn't frozen.
He was contemplating.
I'm miming over here.
He was kind of, he had his finger up to his, he's like, oh, that's a very good point.
But yeah, Judd, why don't you go with your next statement here?
No. Just give it a second. It only goes out for like 2.5 seconds. Okay. Insert joke here.
My next statement was yours.
I want to react to your statement.
Yeah.
So the broadcast also said something about, like, they met with PJ Fleck, I think, sometime on a conference call before the game. And they said, PJ Fleck is an old school guy. He knows that there's analytics out there, but he chooses not to use them, is what he said. And I don't know that we've ever gotten that confirmation from anyone. Like, it's always felt like he's not really conscious of game and time management and timeouts and when to go for it, when not to. It's always kind of felt like he's going on a whim. And he told the broadcast crew he prefers to coach based on 100% feel, which I think it's better if you're going to coach on feel, which you should coach on feel knowing what the numbers say.
Did we know that before?
That's a problem. I don't think we did.
I don't think I've heard that.
That's a problem.
Goes, well, it feels like, so off that point in watching him coach, it feels like he coaches off of instinct in everything. which is why the clock's a problem. Because like clock is here are my rules. Like I'm going to do this or that. But it feels like things catch him by surprise, especially with the game flow and the clock. So that actually does make sense. Because, and look, I think there's certain things from a coaching standpoint that you can do probably off emotion and feel and snap decisions. But like when you're doing the actual in-game, that's a dangerous thing now because that sort of does explain, Phil, why he consistently, when it comes to the clock, doesn't seem to have a real idea.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't.
Yeah, which is, I think it's the opposite of what I would have thought. I thought, he's a new age
100%.
guy, a new school guy. Like he's going to bring all these new thoughts and analytics, and he doesn't.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
And so what's hard is like he's recruiting better than previous Gophers coaches, so he is raising the talent level. But you're not going to out recruit and out talent Wisconsin right now, Ohio State. Some of the other teams are going to be even Iowa. Like they generally have more talent than the Gophers have had historically. Maybe Iowa, Wisconsin's starting to even out a little bit for the Gophers. But what's your edge? If your edge isn't
right.
NFL quarterback or whatnot, like your edge needs to be you go for it in 2 situations, or you preserve 3 timeouts so that at the end of the game you're in a better position. You know, the extra 2%.
I've got good but not great players, but what we do on game day can make us great.
Yep, 100%.
And you're right. That's the extra 2%, small things.
Yep. I got one more Viking statement here. Greg Joseph is the greatest kicker in Vikings history for my money. I saw
Ryan Longwell is not happy with you right now.
Dude, that was like legitimately, there's very few silver linings off yesterday's Vikings game, but like for him to just walk in there and kick a 53-yarder as time expires, and then just walk back to the sideline, put that hat on, cross your arms, and wait for your game-winning opportunity.
And the Bengals guy
man.
was talking trash when they froze him. The Bengals guy,
I know, that was weird,
came out and was like, but it didn't look nasty. But Joseph was ignoring him completely, and O'Neal, finally came and peeled the Bengals guy away and patted him. So it didn't look like it was going to turn into an altercation, but it was
strange.
But Greg Joseph, ice in the veins, which I like.
Yeah.
There's another football cliche. That kicker has ice in his veins.
Oh, man. All right. Any other statements from you guys?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
I got one more. Since I started following the National Football League in, I believe it was 1978, this might be the single most excited I can remember being about overall quarterback play because of the number of interesting stories. We've got the Bradys, the Rodgers, but like, look at the young guys now. Fields, who eventually soon is going to have to start, right? Jalen Hurts played a great game. Lawrence got picked off 3 times, but you know what? He's a great story, exciting. If you look at the amount of quarterback stories, Burrow coming back, there are so many good stories, and there is no sexier position in sports than quarterbacks.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, so many great stories. Jalen Hurts, Jameis Winston.
Stop.
Jalen got freaky yesterday. He
played really
great.
well.
He was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Kirk, by the way, in classic Kirk fashion, the 8th highest graded quarterback according to Pro Football Focus. He is the master. He is the master at hacking the statistical outputs and still not winning games. Like, he is the master.
Yeah.
350, high PFF grade. It's never bears any responsibility for anything that happens to the team,
right,
but gets all of the credit, you know.
But you know why?
Good for him, man.
The hack is this. Last drive, right? Last drive, he gets them down to kick a field goal, but they never take a shot, which, by the way, could have been picked off. Mm-hmm. Like that's where the really great ones take some chances, because they're like, screw the field goal. We're going to score a touchdown. We're going to dagger them. Exactly. Yeah, and so, but if you don't put yourself in a position to throw a pick, it's going to help you statistically a lot.
And listen, I love me some PFF, but when you watch those games yesterday, when Kirk Cousins is graded higher than Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott.
He graded higher than Matthew Stafford?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm really surprised by that. Matthew Stafford.
Got to fix your formula, man.
This is going to be good, boys.
Yeah,
this is going to be good. Rams, Stafford. This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Stafford looks so joyful too. Like, oh,
He also has
finally,
lost weight. He's thinner.
Jameis Winston has lost a bunch of weight too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Good for those guys.
The Rams and the
I should take some
Broncos.
notes.
I'm adopting them. The Rams, the Broncos after week 1. I'm
Oh,
adopting
Teddy,
them.
of course you are.
He looked
A
great.
core team. I know. Yeah,
He
no.
looked
You know
great.
what? You know what? I wish nothing but the best for Teddy.
Isn't it great when teammates like Von Miller come out and literally say, "Yeah, we're happy for Teddy and we rally around him."
People
and
love
he
him.
just, and yeah, it's great
People
to hear
love
that.
him.
Yeah.
Some people
I'm
are
sure
loved.
there's audio of Vikings players saying that about their quarterback too. I just
Stop.
we'll go find it.
Just stop. Yeah, we love Sean Mannion.
Yeah.
Rumor has it we obviously we spent most of today talking Vikings, but we got some vent line possibilities for tomorrow too for the other NFC North teams. So stay tuned to Mackie and Judd tomorrow. Click the
All good.
subscribe button on the SKOR North YouTube channel and the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow.